I recently just traveled with my 2 kids through the airport, and that involved obviously having a good stroller / wagon to go ahead and transport them through there. I also wanted something that I could use on the other side as I was going to the beach and going to be walking a lot around paved areas and things like that. So I actually got the Summer 3D Light Wagon to test it out and see what it's all about when it comes to transporting both my 8-month-old and my 3-year-old. My initial reaction when I received the box that this came in was how weird it was that it was so long and rectangular. It threw me off because I've only ever received wagons in a smaller, more compact box, and then from there they had to be assembled. This one is very long and not very wide, so that's why it came in a very thin and long rectangular box. Then from there, during the unpacking, I realized that the wagon was actually already assembled. The only thing I had to do was click in the wheels, so that made it really nice and easy for setup. Definitely made it easy to be able to grab this, set it up, and go right away. And then when I took out the wheels from the box and set them onto the wagon, they were very thick. It does have like the double wheel system for each individual set of wheels. I definitely felt like the wheels would be good for traction and tackling all those different environments. I do also live in the desert, therefore we're always going over rocks and dirt and all of the wild nature that's a little more coarse. So I need wheels that work on that as well. Then from there you have the accessory pieces that it comes with, and you can choose to add those on or you can leave them out. It comes with this canopy here that covers, I'd say maybe like a third or a fourth of the wagon, as you can see when it's fully extended here. It covers that much, and then it does also have mosquito netting. And then you can see right here, I unzip the entire side of the canopy and pull that mosquito netting down. It has the elastic around that band here, so it can connect on there like that. It does also have little snaps that snap into place on the wagon itself to keep it extra secure. However, the one downfall of this is that of course it's not going to have any sun blocking or any full coverage for your kiddos as far as outside environment goes. So that does exist on both sides. I'm going to go ahead and leave this side mosquito net in, but that one does also come undone, has the same snapping mechanism, and connects the same way on that side. And then from there, the additional accessories, there's a little phone holder. So the parent phone holder here, there's also the parent cup holder on the side, and those can be interchangeable to either side, whichever side you prefer. They just slide and click right in and slide right up when you're ready to take it off. So you can kind of see how that one works there. These are flexible, so you can go ahead and put a larger cup in there if you need. But the bottom base is not going to be flexible. That is a one size kind of thing. And then from there as well, on the inside of the wagon, there are additional accessories. So it does come with 2 little snack and cup trays. So each kiddo has their own tray. So these individualized double cup holders here allow for both my 3-year-old and my 8-month-old to have their own space. They know it's theirs, and they can definitely keep everything separate as far as drinks and snacks go, or toys and goodies and all that fun stuff. They have this little opening here that has a protrusion in the wagon itself, so you'll know exactly where to place those and snap them down. And they're nice and easy to install and uninstall if you need to. The inside of the wagon was my main point of concern because there's no drop down for their feet to go. So it is a flat wagon where your kids are gonna have to coexist in their space. They're gonna have to share leg room and wiggle room. So you're gonna want to make note of that if you're considering this one, but you don't want your kids to have a shared space. This one does have a shared space. My 3-year-old is very tall. He's about 37, 38 inches tall right now. Very long legs, and he was able to put his legs on the outside, while my 8-month-old, being obviously a lot smaller, but still around like 28 inches or so I believe, was able to put his legs in between or have a crisscross motion in between my 3-year-old's legs. There are specified spots for them to sit, of course, with the seat belts. It is a 3-point harness, so they're going to have that middle strap that connects with those 2 side straps. They obviously have a tightening mechanism, and to undo them, the button is a little more firm, so I can easily press the button, but my 3-year-old can't necessarily get that off nice and easy, which I like. I appreciate a stronger buckle. And then on the back side of the wagon here, there is a little storage compartment. And I say little to describe this basket just out of habit, but it's actually very large compared to other 2-seater wagons and their storage. So I was actually very impressed by this. I also really like the way that it works, where it folds right into the wagon itself. And then of course, when you're ready to use it, just unfold it and push that middle pocket down, and you've got a nice deep and large space to use for extra storage. I've been able to actually fit our very large diaper bag in here without any issues. I really like this storage compartment here, and I really appreciate that it's connected to the wagon itself versus being a removable option, because we do have a different wagon that has a removable option, and anytime that it has a little more weight than it should, because that's inevitable really, it tends to fall off, and it's so frustrating because I can't make it work. So this one being connected is a huge bonus through my eyes. I do also really like the handles here. I have only really seen the typical bar that goes across that you hold on to for your wagons, and those make it a little bit difficult to steer with one hand because you kind of have to find the right spot. With these ones, I'm able to kind of grab it and steer it, if you can kind of tell here. Even with my kids' weight in there, which I think in total, the two of them weigh about 65 pounds. I do not weigh this down where I can't steer it at all. It's very easy to maneuver in that sense. And then my last few little points to talk about, it does have an individual brake system on each of the back wheels. So it's not a one brake controls the whole thing. You can definitely lock one wheel or the other. And then talking about the frame of the wagon here, it does have an interesting frame. I'm hoping that I can kind of give you an idea with a video that I put over top here, that it has almost like a rectangular shape that opens up into more of a U shape at the very top, so it's a little bit wider on the further end than it is on the end that comes towards the person pushing the wagon here. And the fabric itself is a really nice quality. It seems nice and thick, and I will say it does seem like it's water resistant, or has like a water resistant material along with a nice rubberized mesh, so it's a stronger mesh. It's not going to be easy to snag and rip that mesh. And it does also have those reflectors throughout the wagon here, so you can definitely view this at night when light hits it. You don't have to worry about not being able to be seen. And I think that's a nice aspect to add into a wagon as well. Now, speaking about how easy this is to travel with, this is meant to be a travel wagon. I will say that it is very lightweight. I think it's about 20 pounds and very easy to lift. My downfall is how long this is when it's folded up. So it is a very strange shape in that it is very, very long. So it's gonna fold down, and it's gonna fold down really small, really thin, but it's gonna be very, very long, to the point where it may not fit in some trunks of some vehicles. But because of its overall size, being nice and thin and lightweight, it was great to travel through an airport. And this was great because going through TSA, even with those nets and all those small curves and turns, this one actually maneuvered really well. I'd say it's even more compact and smaller than your average double stroller. So this was great for being able to fit through those tight or smaller spaces, especially at the airport. And since it is so easy to collapse and break down, once we got to the gate, it was very easy to quickly collapse it, break it down, and hand it to them for gate checking. So once you collapse it, you're just gonna wanna make sure that this little locking mechanism does actually click into place and is secure on the wagon itself, because then it won't be at risk of coming undone or, flopping open at all. Once it's on there until you pull it off and open the wagon yourself. To open and close the wagon, it does have its own mechanism in the back here, and it is a couple gray levers here. You're gonna actually push down on the side gray lever that kind of protrudes out from the wagon, and then you're going to lift up on that middle gray piece that's a little bit thicker and looks more like a stepping piece. If you lift up on that, then the whole thing folds into itself and collapses right down. I didn't have to take anything off. The canopy is still on here. The cup holders, both little snack tray cup holders are still on here, as well as that storage basket in the back, the phone holder, the cup holder for the parent. All of that is still on here. It collapses down with all of that, and you can see it's pretty compact. And like I said, just a little bit tall. So I am 5'7" for reference, and it is pretty tall, pretty up there next to me. But again, super lightweight in that I can lift it easily and kind of maneuver it easily when it's folded. And I do appreciate that it has that locking mechanism on the side to keep it folded together. So this is as wide as it opens without undoing that locking mechanism. So overall, this is definitely a good option for a travel wagon, being that it's so lightweight and easy to maneuver. But there are some positives and negatives to take into account to decide if this is really the one for you. So hopefully this video helps. Hopefully you have a better idea of what this wagon is all about, and hopefully you have a great experience with this if you do choose to go ahead and purchase it. And most of all, happy travels, happy adventures.